Hi, Emily.
Hi, Wyatt.
Did you notice I have a smile on my face?
Yes. Yes,
I
did.
Do you know why I have a smile on my face?
Because it's Donut Week,
It's
part
donut,
one.
It's Donut Week and part one. See, that puts a smile on my face because it's part one, and which means there would be other parts following.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
And the other thing is that, look at this. We have, now, this is part one because today is Glazed Donut Day.
Yes.
Okay, these are all glazed donuts from some of the places that you're familiar with, as well as some of the places that maybe you're not familiar with that are here in town. And we're delightful.
Yes.
This is going to be so good. How was your Mother's Day?
Oh, it was fantastic.
'Cause you're a
Such
mom.
a great day.
You're a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell me about it, a little bit about it.
So we had the Dunn side come over, which was nice because COVID kind of kept everyone away.
Last year it sure did.
Exactly. So this year everybody felt comfortable enough to come over. And then we had my sister and her family.
Nice.
And it was just a really great day.
So all the moms, including your mom.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
We did the same. We had, Claudia and I had my mom over. We had my daughter's mother-in-law over. And so everybody was a mom at our house except for me and Jeremy. So, yeah. So that's my grandson.
Yeah.
So let's dig into this.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, let's do,
You want to start
a
with
preference?
generic? Maybe we should start with the generic, or do you want to put, not generic, but like grocery store?
No, these are generic, and here's the thing. I know that you went and got Albertsons yesterday.
Actually, we got them this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got these today too.
Okay.
The reason I did both, this is Smith's. We'll start off with Smith's. I've always thought that they looked really good at Smith's, and they have their own bakery, so I know that they're not importing them from, some other place and everything. So these actually have as good of a shot at being legit as anybody else. Now, upon grabbing one, so I cut it in half?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or yeah, that's fine with me.
Upon grabbing one, I thought that the sugar glaze would be kind of a little more of a hard shell, but it's kind of sticky.
And you know what? Looking at some of these other ones,
Yeah.
I feel like they all kind of have not the glaze, but they are just kind of sticky.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't, I'm kind of just by sight, I think, the thing I would look for in a glazed donut is a nice glaze, hence the word, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, shall we give it
Let's
a try?
do it.
Okay, here
now
we go.
this is, like Wyatt said, this is a Smith's donut. If you are not familiar with Smith's, it's just a local grocery store owned by Kroger. So yeah, that's where we got these guys from.
Okay, a little dense as far as the cake and a little moist.
It's good,
Well,
but it's not like spectacular donut.
they are dense, kind of cakey,
Mm-hmm.
which, so there's not a light thing, and maybe I like that. I think maybe I like airy donuts. I'm not sure.
I think it's a little dense to be airy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
dense, it's thick. And the glaze is, I'd say, medium. It's not a hard shell kind of crack kind of a thing, but
Yeah.
but there's plenty of it on there, and that's good. So good starting point.
Yeah.
Okay, Smith's. Where do we go now?
Let's do Albertsons.
Okay.
Another grocery store.
And they have their own bakery too,
Yes,
as well, right?
yes, they do.
Okay. Here's this.
Another sticky one.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm smelling the maple because there's also a maple donut in
Well,
here.
you just bought them that way.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that they'll be totally influenced or anything like that. Okay, now
Okay.
this is a little bit darker.
Much
like
darker.
A little more well done, I would say, right?
Yeah,
A little more
so-
time in the oven.
Smith's donut,
A li-
Albertsons donut.
Yeah, a little lighter, but still and kind of moist. I used that word.
I know you've used it a couple times. I'm pretending like I
Okay,
don't
what would
hear
you?
it.
Okay, what would you call this then?
I wouldn't. I don't know how to explain things that are not dry when it comes to cake, so
Okay.
I just don't.
Non-dry.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
Totally different.
better.
It tastes more like bread.
Mm-hmm.
This one tastes like Smith's tasted like a donut, but Albertsons tastes like a sweet bread, and the texture is very bread.
I think I like it better, except I really wish there was more of a sugar glaze.
Yeah, because
Okay?
that would make it less bread.
But it's more donut-y. And
I like the flavor of this one more.
yeah, I do. I really do.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised because looking at the two, I would think that this would be the lighter, airier, fluffier, but it's certainly not.
But again, Albertsons tastes more like bread, and I think that's why I like it. Tastes like French bread.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Very good. Very good.
All right, you go next.
Okay, let's where are these guys?
Right there.
Oh, okay.
I put them in front.
Now, the reason I wanted to kind of do this is I believe, I'm not sure, Two Boys is a donut shop / food truck here in town.
Yes.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that one of my very good high school friends is the aunt of one of the Two Boys. I think.
Okay.
I think. So, if that's true, then I have to have utmost respect. I can look right now and see that the glaze is the kind of glaze that kind of soaks in. It's not the hard shell sugar glaze, and I in theory I prefer the hard shell.
I do too.
You know, so this kind of is soaked in and
I don't like it.
Well,
which is weird because I went into their shop and it looked phenomenal. But I don't like the taste of this donut.
It's a little bit yeastier.
Yeah,
Okay?
it really is.
Now, there again, some people might like that, some people might not. But this is a little bit yeastier, and I really would like to see a more hardcore sugar coating on this. I mean, like I say, it's a glazed donut. So there's the donut and there's the glaze. Okay, so you know, but I can see where they're crafting these, obviously, because it does taste different.
Yeah.
So maybe further things to be said about them on some of their other offerings. But this one, not ideal, I would say.
No, I
not
agree.
Not ideal. What are these guys?
Oh,
those are different.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
real excited about
Because
this.
they look different.
Let's hit up a classic donut place that everyone knows. Dunkin' Donuts.
I mean, if there's not Dunkin' Donuts.
The world runs on Dunkin', right?
Shannon was so excited when Dunkin' Donuts came to Germany. And actually, there's a Dunkin' Donuts location right in Berlin, right at the Brandenburg Gate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you familiar with like Berlin? Okay.
No.
Every self-respecting European city has its own gate. You know, where the armies march through, or if they get conquered, the conquering armor marches through the gate, and that's a symbol that they're conquering and everything. Anyway, the Brandenburg Gate, iconic place in Berlin. It's where President Kennedy gave his speech saying that he was a
jelly donut.
Jelly donut, and it was the same location where President Reagan said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall." And then they did. And right just catacorner from the Brandenburg Gate, is the ultra luxurious hotel that Michael Jackson hung his baby out the window.
Ah, yes.
Okay. So anyway, there's a Dunkin' Donuts right there. and I have a wonderful picture of me eating a jelly donut at the Brandenburg Gate.
I've seen that on your Facebook.
So Dunkin' Donuts actually has some juice with us because there again, they went to Germany.
I like that you went through all this historical, important stuff, and then said, and now there's a Dunkin' Donuts there. Like, it's just funny.
Brandenburg Gate, iconic hotel. The American Embassy relocated right there, and Dunkin' Donuts.
And Dunkin' Donuts.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, the world runs on Dunkin'.
Exactly,
So,
it does. Okay.
this has
Now,
that glazed
It has that nice
shell
glaze.
that you like.
It has that nice glaze on the top. It too is nice and squishy, cakey, but nice and squishy.
Oh, that's a donut. I just like how, as opposed to the other ones, it's light.
It is.
And donuts are sweet and they're heavy anyways. These ones are just so cakey and bready.
This is pretty darn good.
This is a light donut. I want to eat the whole thing.
This is lighter than any of the others. You know, light may mean that they save on ingredients and make more money, but I like light.
Don't think so. I think it's harder to make a light and fluffy pastry than it is, because if it's heavy, that means you put too much of something in it.
No, I like,
right?
I like
but this is good. This is so good. We needed a good donut. Not gonna lie, I'm a little put off with some of these right now. So good.
We have more of these, don't we?
Yeah, you picked up a half a dozen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be eating another one.
This won't. You know what? When we shut the camera off, don't think that we're done. Okay.
We're not.
Yeah.
We eat all this. We share, but we still eat. Like when we did the chicken sandwiches, I ate more when we were done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts, high on the list.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now this little tiny bag here, this is Donut Mart. Now in Albuquerque, this is a chain, okay, and they're owned by a wonderful family. They've had different locations here and there pop up in town, and you know, during COVID, some of them made it, some of them didn't, you know. But they're I like them. We get these for the church sometimes, and I appreciate them. Just a no-name bag, or you know, nothing big advertising or anything. Pick one. Okay.
Cool.
Did you pick a good one?
I hope so. I picked the middle.
Okay. So this is Donut Mart.
Donut Mart.
Locally owned and operated, but they're kind of a chain. Now, I can tell right now that this is going to be kind of light and flaky.
I mean, even if you hold the two, this one is two boys.
Look at this bite. That's nothing but
I know.
Ooh.
It's just so much lighter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. But who knows? Let's see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Once again, now the consistency is almost as good as a Dunkin' Donut.
Right, but the flavor's totally off.
It's yeasty also.
Yeah.
Okay. Now there again, some people like that, some people don't, but sometimes it's just kind of an added flavor.
And here's the thing that we're coming across. Obviously, Dunkin' Donuts is not like your homemade bakery, right?
No.
But they have the lightest, fluffiest donut. All these other ones, I mean, even Smith's, even Albertsons that have their own bakeries, Two Boys, Donut Mart, they are a heavier donut.
Yeah.
I mean, Donut Mart is light. I like that, but I don't like the flavor of it.
Let's talk theory here for a minute.
Okay.
Because we can't actually... one of the iconic donuts in America is Shipley's.
Oh my gosh, Shipley's,
Okay.
so good.
Now, they used to have a Shipley's here in town, but they don't anymore. I don't know what their corporate structure is or anything like that. I always think of, actually Shipley's, I always think of Houston.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now there are other Shipley's elsewhere. I know in Texas and stuff like that. But now see, I don't really know much about their other donuts, but their glazed donut is just so well done. But
their cream-filled donut is phenomenal.
Are they? But that's the kind of epitome of a great sugar coating, and well done but light.
Yes.
Right?
Super good.
Yep.
A little fact about, well, not really a fact, but when I ran the Houston Marathon back in 2016, I think it was, there was a Shipley's around mile, I don't know, maybe like around mile 20.
I know the one, yeah.
Yeah, and it was where we used to live when we lived in Houston. I was so close to running in there because I wanted one of those donuts so bad, but it had to have been around mile 20. I mean, at mile 20, you can't really eat anything, but yeah, I mean, I was tempted. I wanted to go in there.
That's why I don't marathon. Because,
but then you can run to the donut store. No,
but see, if the marathon does your body to where you really can't eat anything at any time,
you're just so tired.
I don't like that kind of manipulation.
You're just so tired you can't eat anything.
Now, this Krispy Kreme.
Oh yes.
Now, usually, if you know me, you know that I revere Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I tell stories?
Please tell a story.
The first time I ever went to a Krispy Kreme donut, we were attending a Christian conference in Huntsville, Alabama. Me and my daughter Shannon and my daughter's friend Tertia. It was late night, and I'm known for late night roving.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we couldn't find a place to eat except this donut place was open. Okay. And we went there, and we each got a donut. Okay. And it was Krispy Kreme. We went there every night from then on. The last night we went there, we each got 24 donuts each, so that we could at least take a dozen on the airplane back home. Okay.
Wow.
And I always said that God favored us because He brought Krispy Kreme to Albuquerque and established a location just within a mile of the church. I don't know what God did, but that location closed. But I was on an airplane once with the franchise owner from El Paso. Struck up a conversation and stuff, and he said he was going to open up a couple of locations in Albuquerque. Again, he said that the franchise owner in Albuquerque was basically a poor manager. And so it wasn't anything except his own finances that caused this to fail. But now there are several locations of Krispy Kreme in Albuquerque. One is probably a 1.5 miles, 2 miles from my house. And so once again, Krispy Kreme does the deed. Now, we're in a comparison here, so I'm going to pretend like I've never had a Krispy Kreme donut. And I'm going to ask you to, oh, it looks marvelous.
Now, here's the thing with Krispy Kreme.
Tell me.
I mean, it's super light, and they have the glaze that you like.
They definitely have the glaze that I like, because you can see the machine and you see how they do it.
Oh, it's so good.
I know, they are.
Now, here's my only beef, I guess you could say, with Krispy Kreme, if I have one, is that as much as I love them, I can only eat one. Because, especially this one, this cream-filled one that's in there, that frosting one is my favorite, but I can't eat it because it's so intense that it just kills me every time.
Okay. But see, this is where I've got your back, Jack.
Man.
Because if you can only eat one, I can eat all the rest. Okay? And I mean all the rest if I need to. This is wonderful.
There's something about it.
The glaze is so perfect. It's sugary. It's not crusty. It doesn't crumble, but yet it's a solid coating. The donut part is thick enough to be substantial, but it's light overall.
Yes.
The taste is right down the line. It's doughy enough, yeasty enough, flavorful enough. I don't know what they do, but you Carolina people, you know how to make a donut, and my hat's off to you. Even now in this test, this is by far the best donut of anything that we've tried, and we've only got one more to try.
No, we have two.
Well, these aren't glazed donuts.
Yeah,
are they?
we've got two. No, and we'll talk about why. But
yeah.
And here's,
you always do the ringer kind of thing.
The ones
Talk while I eat.
that are, less homemade, so to speak, Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme, they are the lightest, fluffiest donuts, less like bread. And I don't know if it's because they're such a big corporation and they add a whole bunch more to donuts, but I honestly prefer this light, fluffy donut as opposed to these heavy, cakey ones.
I do, and some people really like cake donuts better than they like the other kind of donuts. You remember Winchell's?
I do not.
Winchell's Donuts. They were a chain, and they were here and everything, and they were mostly cake. And it was kind of the people who favored the cake donuts that really, went there and everything. Okay.
This is a new donut store.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, we'll open that again when we visit. This is a new donut place. It is called Amy's Donuts.
Now they act like a chain in as much as they've got wonderful packaging and wonderful advertising and everything. There's only one in Albuquerque, and it actually opened less than a year before COVID.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know if they've had a hard time of things or not.
I walked in there to pick these up, and I will say they had some pretty incredible looking donuts. Like, they're like the birthday cake of donuts. You walk in and they're decorated and they're all themed and They thought when I just said I'll have 2 glazed donuts, they looked at me like I was a little crazy.
Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, why aren't you? What's wrong with you?
Don't you
Okay,
want- yeah.
at first glance, the glaze is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
It's like it's a little gooey, so maybe it's soaked in a little bit, but it's like there's no glaze on the underside. There's just a little bit of glaze on top, and
smells
now
like fry
I'm going to
bread.
taste it, and I'm going to be open-minded when I do. But just as far as glaze goes, that's one of the things that I'm really into.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that actually Albertsons, and then of course Dunkin' and Krispy Kreme have above everyone.
Yes.
Okay, so
Now
here we
smell
go.
it.
Amy.
It smells like fry bread.
It does.
Yeah.
Which actually a donut kind of is.
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah. Exactly.
We're from New Mexico, so fry bread is a staple.
I love fry bread,
And anything you do with it.
and this kind of tastes like it.
No.
It
No.
really does. I feel like they made a sopapilla and
Yeah.
Put some glaze on it.
Yeah. And not enough.
No, not enough at all. It's good. I
mean,
like it.
it's this in the morning with a cup of coffee, I wouldn't beef at this or anything like that. Actually, there's none of these have been, ooh, gross, reprehensible, stay away from it, don't ever buy one. Maybe you don't feel
I didn't
that
like
way.
Donut Mart very much.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, this doesn't do it.
It's actually quite dry.
It's dry.
It's very dry. Very dry on the inside. But
It is light.
the homemade donuts, it is much lighter than the other homemade donuts. I like this one more than I've liked the other of like the bakery donuts. Yeah. But it honestly just tastes like fry bread with honey on top, which I can't complain about, but that's not a donut.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy in as much as Krispy Kreme is still my favorite. I was actually scared because, as we've done some of even our programs, it's like some of my favorites didn't turn out to be my favorites.
Right, when you compare it with the
Yeah.
others, right?
And so this
Yeah.
is still hands down my favorite, and I could eat a dozen of them at the drop of a hat. I'm not going to, but I could. But I liked it.
Yeah.
But I can see why Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts are on top of the game all
Yep.
over the world, or
Even
all
with
over
the
America at
specialties,
least.
Yeah, I see it.
I don't think Krispy Kreme is in Berlin.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
Sad.
Maybe someday.
Too bad. Maybe they're in Paris. I'll have to go to Paris someday.
Just for the Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
You know they'd be fantastic out in Paris.
Yeah, when we were in Hawaii, everybody talked about some kind of a Hawaiian donut, and I don't even know its name. And they talked about some place called Leonard's.